Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your
Okay,
birthday.
so yeah, this
We gon'
is
sip
me.
Bacardi
This
like
is
it's your
Eve,
birthday.
Evelyn Molimi. Most of y'all know me as Masarami, and that's my name from back home. I'm turning 31 this year, and today you get to learn a bit more about myself, not the social media a quiet girl that you know, but just to get an inside scoop about my life and where I come from and where I am, and yeah, this is my life, y'all. It's my birthday, y'all. So who's Eve? Eve Kimwanyana wa Kolotshini. Kimwanyana wa Orange Farm. So get out for my farmer. I was born in Soweto and raised in Orange Farm. That's where I grew up, and basically that's the life I know. So if I'm that girl from the hood. So growing up, I was actually more of your tomboyish girl. I think if you look at me and study my persona now, you might pick up a bit of that tomboyishness, although I'm trying to label it up a bit. So this is me. Hey, guys, taking me back. Yeah. Okay. So growing up, guys, it was a lot of fun. But also, I grew up as a free kid, but the experience was also humbling, in a sense that, we didn't have all the nice haves that we would have loved to have, and I know, the parents would have loved to have offered more. But look, this is what we had, and we made do with what we had. And really, we managed to have a lot of fun. I played a lot with boys. I had a lot of boy friends. And my aunt actually used to call me Kuzwayo. She used to call me Kuzwayo because, according to them, it's like Nekele Stout, but I think it's lessons learned, right? I remember I have one of the scars here on my leg, and I got that Kosoweto. So we were just playing with these boys, Kostarating, and I think a bunch of other boys just started passing by, and they saw the girl that was playing with these boys, and they thought I was an easy target. So they started a fight, and I fought back. It ended up being a rock throwing type of battle, and I got a few scars. But what was funny about, especially growing up Bukasi, my aunt, which I love very dearly, when I got home and I was crying, saying, "Oh, these boys ban lemadidze," and she was like, "You know what? I ain't gonna have that." We actually went to one of these boys' home, and we got there, and my aunt said, "Moterape, go shebile." I guess it's an ex, and the parents were there. The parents were there, and I had to Moshapi because I knew if I didn't do that and I came home Killa, then I was gonna be in trouble. So I you know what? I went in there and I got my revenge. So this is the kind of environment that I grew in. Very loving. My parents, my dad is a bit strict. He's quite strict to a sense that ukwala the gate at 6 o'clock, you don't come in high after dark. So it kept me in check. But my mom is on the softer side of life. The defender when I'm in trouble. And my siblings, my sister, now that's my best friend. We grew up very close together. And my brother, well, that one, he fought with everyone. I think he was he fought with everyone because I think maybe he was the boy, the only boy and last born, so he had to find himself around all these women whom he was living with. But it was a lot of fun. Me and my brother, we've grown close. along the years. I think we get along just fine. I think we get along okay, but he's a bit reserved. So going back to my childhood, let me jump straight to my high school. Actually, I did my high school still go Orange Farm, go Jabulile Secondary School, and I actually matriculated by 2006. So my life in high school, I wouldn't say it was loads of fun like a typical young girl would say, because honestly I had changed schools actually at the time from grade 10. I started grade 11 in this new school, and there was a lot of adjusting to do. So between the 2 years, grade 11 and 12, I really had to adjust a lot, and new environment, new teachers, new syllabus in fact, because even the style of studying or style of education was a bit different. So it was a lot of adjusting for me to do. I didn't go out a lot. Still maintained my tomboyish, so yeah, that was it. And dating in grade 11, yeah. What are we talking about here? Oh, so I met my high school sweetheart, Kojabulile, and we actually dated up until varsity. But yeah, look, my dating with this guy was a bit different. It was not dating yabustodu. I would honestly say it was a progressive mojolo, because me and this guy, we were friends. We were best of friends. We studied together. We challenged each other academically, and we stayed late at school to study. And I tell you, every day 7 a.m. we were at school, either just the two of us or with a bunch of other friends of ours for our own morning classes, and we would go in there and grind. So in class, what would happen is typically I was number 3 or number 4 in terms of grading. So I know there's these two guys, brilliant friends of ours, and yeah, they were very brilliant. So those are our number 1s and number 2s, and the position number 3 and 4 was a daily competition between me and him. And really, it took away a lot of nonsense that happens in a young girl's life, because there was so much to focus to, and it also helps if you and the friend at the time are aligned in terms of thinking. So that was that. So we dated up until varsity. I think from then on we started seeing life differently, and even our split, I wouldn't say it was a bad breakup. I think it was just two souls that had grown and had to find their own independence, and that's what happened. So yeah, that's what happened, and I'll jump straight to my varsity life. So between 2006, when I matriculated, and 2007, I actually took a gap year, and at the time I worked legit, but it was also a proud moment to say I was starting to gain my independence. I would wake up in the morning, and for a purpose, I would go to work, and yeah, I got paid about 58 rand per shift. So it was not a lot, but it kept a girl by. I kept by. I would buy myself roll on. I didn't depend on my mom. I could buy bread when there's no bread in the house. So yeah, that was my life, Kokasi. A very humbling experience, like I said, but I know it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of humbleness. It taught me a lot of humble beginnings, and being groomed, being grounded, and I appreciate that part of my life forever. So yeah, my sister's name, Priscilla. My sister Mdase, that's what we call each other, Mdase. At some point we called each other Nchamme. Now that for me is a rock. My sister is just much more than a sister. We've grown so close to each other over the years. She's actually my best friend. So We don't go out a lot, but we do enjoy spending time together. Indoors, just cuddled up and just having one-on-ones. Again, over the years, we've had to include her daughter, Neo, which I also love very much. But growing up with my sister, of course, at an early age, we fought like siblings would. And a funny story, she actually praised herself for Akila Ntarapa to a point where Katata, but it was just a sisters fighting over whatever, who's cleaning that day, who's washing dishes, who didn't polish the floor, or who was responsible for the shoes. That was the life we had. But over the years, so my sister she actually fell pregnant at a very young age. She had a baby quite early in life, and as a result, she got married very, very early. So she had to leave home, and there was that gap. Of saying I could only see her when I visit her place or when she comes back home. And I think the distance also made us realize just how much we needed each other, because when you have something here, you end up taking advantage of it, and you don't really see what impact this thing has on over your life. But as soon as she moved out, really that's when we realized that we needed each other and we needed to keep this bond close, and we did. So every other week I was with my sister, Rakamagunya, and just that life. And unfortunately, as time goes, she came back home, and I'm telling you, this is when now I really had my sister, because I was also now becoming a woman of my own, and she's a woman, a full-blown woman, and I could see so much of myself in her, and I think that's what made us grow so close together, and we started understanding each other to a point where I couldn't separate her from and we became very close. My sister knows all my secrets. She's the one person who's my go-to. That's my ride or die. That's my ride or die. We share so much, and of course, with my mother included, we are this little crew of girls. We are close, and I love them dearly. But one thing about my sister is sometimes she's a bit less daring, and if there's one thing I wished for her, was for her to jump out and go for these opportunities that she wants, and to be daring, and to make these things that she thinks about, make them happen. I know she has a lot of dreams. I know she wants a lot for her daughter. She wants a lot for herself as a woman with needs. She wants a lot for herself. The one thing for me is that at this point in time, we just need to live and love ourselves so much that some of these things, they find us on the way. They get us on the way, and they will just blend into our lives. So that's my biggest wish for my sister, to be more daring. And we had a huge celebration just a few weeks ago. She officially moved out of home, and she got her place to stay, a nice little cozy place for her and her daughter. And that was probably one of the most exciting moments for me, for her, because I've always known that she needed to take the step. But like I say, our personalities probably have our own strengths and stuff like that, and finally she made a decision to say, this is now time, and I'm going for this, and there's no going back. And me and my mom and my aunt, actually, we were there, Lindsay, we were there rooting for her. We were there repakisha, you know, preparing for this, and it was actually it ended up being a job. It was so fun, and I was so happy. I was so happy that she had taken this step, and I know that having taken this step is gonna open so many opportunities for her, because now she doesn't need to be reserved. She can go all out. She can explore herself. She can live, and yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell for my sister. I love her to bits. And Nebo, you know, that child, that's my firstborn child. It's just that she's born of my sister, but I love her to heaven and earth. But the one thing I really wish for my niece, I wish her focus. You know, the level of focus that we never had. Probably we didn't know we didn't know then what we know now. And in as much as we want people to live and be free and find themselves and all of that, but there's this level of focus that she needs to maintain at this day and age. You know, life moves so fast, and there's always this pressure to want to catch up with life and all of that. But you know, there's no pressure. This is your life. You just relax and you live it as you know how, and all these things, they will find you. They are not going anywhere. And you know, that's just what I wish for her. I wish her. And then there's my brother. Yes, and then there's my brother Thabang. Thabang is that quiet one in the family. He's that serious type, ne? Although you know there's no seriousness here. It's just my brother. So now kilas bonya go high. And Thabang is one of those, the quiet one in the family. But the naughty one, you know, that one is the naughty one. So Thabang as a boy, and probably the only boy amongst all these girls, of course, my dad included, I think Thabang is one of those who rather had it a bit, I would say, challenging as a boy growing up. Thabang is those who was pretty much on the experimental side of things, sometimes going a little bit over the board. But I'm just glad that he found himself the way he did. I think he's done a fair share of experimenting in his life, and it has channeled him into being the gentleman that he is now. Oh, I look at him, he's such a handsome boy, handsome guy, right? I guess malume wabana. You know, even his persona is starting to take that character in his seriousness, and yet, you know, the sense of responsibility. And I think that's one of my proudest moments with Thabang, having to see him really developing and becoming a responsible man. Currently still in school, but what I like about him is that sense of saying, so he's running his little small business. So they are doing this Gussie brand clothing, which I'm really proud of. I think the boys are going very far, and I wanted to tap into the responsibility of saying, when he has, you know, it's not a lot that he makes, we know that, but for a boy to remember that, oh, by the way, it's Sunday today, let me go kilo 2 kg and bring it home. Really, it says a lot, and I've seen that develop, that character develop rather, in him, and it gives me confidence to say, you know, my parents have done a good job. They are grooming a responsible man, and I know one day he's gonna make a pretty lady happy one day, especially with the current partner. I think she's brought out a little bit of maturity out of him, and really I enjoy seeing that. English! Although it keeps him a little bit reserved. But that's what love does, isn't it? So it's just you and your little, your person in this little love nest, and the rest of the world, we are out there just looking at them, and yeah, they're enjoying themselves, they're enjoying their life, and yeah, what can we say? But yeah, that's about it about my family. My parents, really not much to say about them. Really hardworking, really done everything they know for their children. And this is the results that you see here. My sister is 35 this year, Thabang is 20, who? I think 24 or 25, I'm not sure, but he's a young man. And I think my parents have done really well with the little that they had. I've already covered that my dad was a bit strict, so there's really not much to say there. But you know, one thing I would say, one thing I would say is growing up when I was like what 5, 6, 7 years, yeah, I enjoyed a lot going to work with my dad. So my dad, we grew up, he was a bricklayer. So he was self-employed, little gigs, 30 tolam kokasi to build a house, the room, garage, you know, all of that. And I would just want to be where he is. And probably I think that also had an influence in the current career that I'm in, because I've had to grow around so much tooling in my world. Right, seeing a drill and a drill bit is now second nature to me, because I enjoyed so much going to work with my dad. In fact, I actually got injured whilst he was at work, but yeah, story for another day. So that's my dad. And my mom, the sweetest person ever. The sweetest person ever. And I think that's one of the characters that I've gotten from her, is my mom sees the best in people so much that sometimes it's not easy for her to distinguish between a front and a real sincere person, you know. And you know, that's how sweet and innocent I've known her to be. And yeah, I think even in my adult life now, I think that one remains with me. I really try and see the best in other people, and sometimes, unfortunately, people take advantage of that. But yeah, that's about it with my family, my life as a young girl, a tomboy, Masarame Ramzo. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so my life now, right? I met my husband in varsity, so we went to UJ together, and funny enough, we did the same course, so we are both engineers by profession, and met in 2009. Yeah, but basically, long story short, my husband is the love of my life. So, in actual fact, short joke rather, when in dress in my room, I was sharing my room, and I had pictures of my husband, pictures of ours, you know, just there in my room and whatnot. And I actually labeled one of his pictures, and I said my rock. And that's what he's been for the life that I've known him. And he's such a reliable person. He's such a loving person. He's such a caring person. I know he loves me. He loves my kids. He loves my family. And you know, if there's one thing that really drew me close to my husband, is his love for his mother. There's nothing that you can do that can separate my husband and his mother. They are so close, and I love that about him. I think that's one of the things that, the key things rather, that made me fall in love with him so much. Because I think our first date, if I can call it that, but he told me a lot about his mother. And you could see how genuine he was about that, and I couldn't help but fall in love. You know, sometimes I think actually it's one of his catch-up lines that he uses, ne? I would think that he is that on girls because the way it worked on me, it was so genuine. He was so loving when he spoke. In fact, he was actually getting a bit teary when he spoke about his mom. And I realized, this is a man that has been groomed and grown by such a strong family structure. And I knew this is what I wanted to keep for my own family and for my kids. So, and I think that worked out very well. And we grew close, very close. He was then my best friend. We've never drifted apart ever since. In fact, I think we grow closer every day. And every challenge that we face together, really, I'm gonna start getting teary now. But it brings us even more closer. We got married. Before I moved to getting married, we started dating around in March, ne? And I think later on in the year, he took me to his homelands in Mpumalanga, and that's when I met his family. And at the time, it was a bit confusing to say this guy. I've only known him for such a few months, and already he's taking me home, but look, that for me gave me that sense of security to say, what, this one I've got a keeper, and I think he is. Oh my God! That is cool. That is cool. When I met his family later on in the year, it just brought a lot home, a lot of what I had seen in him as we were busy, being friends and getting to know each other and all of that. I knew my husband was a Christian. I knew he was God-fearing. I knew he participated a lot in church, but I really didn't grasp the essence of where that came from. So when I went home and I met up with his family and his dad, I love his dad, it really brought it home to say he really comes from, you're okay, go. And so I met his family, and really they welcomed me and they loved me. And look, my husband is a core PK. He's from a very Christian family, and I think that's also what I loved about his family, because I knew then that this was a stable home. I could just see the love from his parents, and the stories he used to tell me about his parents, to say, from when they were growing up, the parents would do everything together. They would go to the shops together, they would go for a walk and leave the kids in the house. And apparently his dad had this thing of saying, this is my wife, she's my wife before she's your mother, so I'm gonna take her without you guys, and we are going for a walk. And that was beautiful for me, because for a boy child to have learned and seen that from his family, it sends a strong sense of security for your own children. And at the time, I think I was starting to open up to the idea of me being a family girl. And really, that's one of the things that I loved a lot about his family. And his sister, we met a bit whilst we were still in school, before I met the family, and she was also so sweet. She was welcoming, but Mustane, squeezer, there's that eye of saying, I'm looking at you, this is my brother. And I noted that, and I was okay with it. I was okay with it because I understand I would have done the same for my sister. I would easily do the same for my brother. And I was okay with that. I loved that about her. And so we went home and we met the family, we grew stronger together, and we really loved each other up until 2013, when we decided to get married. And by the way, there was no one knee and proposal. But I think my husband proposing to me was really unique and beautiful because there's a little dam in his hometown, and that's where he took me, and we had a little discussion of saying, how about we do this? Let's just do this. At the time, of course, he was not working, and there was not a lot of money going by, and we just had to make do with what we had at the time. And that was his plan, to say, you know what, I love you so much, I just want your dad to know that I'm around. And I was okay with that. I think it was beautiful, and I think it was sincere, it was genuine, unlike a bunch of flowers that really don't mean a thing. So that meant a lot to me. And yeah, we quickly got engaged. 2013 we got married, and 2013 November. So we got married in October 26th, and by November, December, I was pregnant with my first daughter, and she came and she changed my entire life. So my daughter Lindsay, she's turning 6 in August now, and she's so beautiful. She brought so much life and light into my life, and I will forever cherish that about her. So we now this was my friend. So this is my friend now because I'm married. I'm away from my own family. I'm here with this guy, and this little princess came by, and you know, she quickly turned me into a mother, a very nurturing person that I didn't know I could be. But yeah, I think I did that pretty well. And yeah, fast forward, we have a boy now, Didiro. He's also turning 2 in December, and he's also just the light of my life. And you know, I think for a change on this one, I did a bit of good work in terms of there is at least some resemblance to money. And yeah, I have 2 kids with my husband. We stay together, and you know, look, family life is not as rosy as many people make it out to be. There's a lot of challenges growing 2 young children right now. In as much as it's beautiful, and you can never exchange it for anything in the world, but it has its own little challenges, and I don't mind dealing with them. It's part of the process, and you know, it makes us the parents that we are. And I think, you know, just like my parents and his parents did what they knew best at the time, I think we are also doing the same, raising our kids the best way we know. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it about my family. We're a small, humble family, and I quickly want to jump on to probably my career, because I believe my career has really tuned me up to being the woman I am today. So, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that I've been given. And I don't take them for granted. So, yeah. So I currently work for an SOE, and it's really a learning experience and a good learning curve for me. It's definitely not where I want to be, but I think it's a good step for where I'm heading. I think it's good for me now because I also believe that all these little challenges that we face along the way really shape us up for the greater that God has planned for us. And that's what I believe. There's a lot of challenges, like in any other state-owned entity. There's a lot of challenges, but also the growth there is immeasurable. I believe there's a lot for me to be doing in that entity. There's a lot of change I can bring, and definitely that's what I'm taking home with me, to say God has put me here for a purpose, probably to implement the change that He has given me and blessed me with. And once that part of my life is fulfilled, then definitely He will open greater doors for me. I'm happy where I am. I'm fairly comfortable. Yeah, but yeah, so that's the long and short about my career. I think I'm still very far where I'm going, and I take every step as a lesson into where I'm going. And yeah, so this year, to actually the crux of why you are seeing me today, I turned 31, and really this was just an opportunity for me to look back and reflect and really identify all these blessings that God has placed in my life. I definitely don't take them for granted. I thank God every day for the life that He has given me. I don't take it for granted. I think He has been very gracious to me. And yeah, so this was just me looking back into the blessings and, you know, just counting every year and identifying all the blessings that God has placed in my life. And yeah, so I'm 31 this year. Kokasi barukwala calendar. But for me, really, this is just a mark. This is just a mark in terms of where I've come from, where I am, and definitely from here henceforth, where I'm going. I'm just gonna leave it here.